Back again with another video. This is today's video for the FA Cup final. Chelsea, of course, playing Arsenal in a game that means a serious amount for Arsenal. Arsenal can win and get a European spot in the group stage of the Europa League. Chelsea win, of course, will be an FA Cup trophy again. It'll be their 9th they've had in their history. But Arsenal's, of course, today's win, not only would it be their 14th and continuously adding to their record-breaking FA Cup amount of victories, would put them in the Europa League, which can be huge for them. They haven't, of course, qualified as of yet, so this is their last chance this season to do so. They've had a very decent route through the tournament as well. They've only played 3 top-tier teams, which are Bournemouth, City and Sheffield United. They've obviously won them all as well to get to this point. Chelsea, on the other hand, have played Liverpool, Leicester and United in the last 3 rounds, which are all top 6 teams. They've had a really good route through, and Lampard has done very, very well to do so in his first season as Chelsea manager. It'd be very nice to see Lampard lift the trophy for Chelsea in his first season as well, especially because there wasn't much expectation around him for this season. But again, it's going to be a very cagey game, as you'd expect in a cup final. Emiliano Martinez, he's been the goalkeeper for Arsenal throughout the whole FA Cup this season. He's not just filled in for Leno, he's filled in for Leno for the whole tournament. So he's used to the cup already, and he's kept 3 clean sheets in their 5 games they've played. Add that to his 3 that he's made in the Premier League as well. So he's out of the 3 clean sheets, he's got those 3 in 9 games. Which is a better percentage rate than Leno for clean sheets. He's had 33% clean sheets, 3 clean sheets in 9 games. Leno has 7 clean sheets in 30 games before he got injured. But Leno is back training, so there's a chance he could play. But you'd expect Martinez to keep his spot considering the form he's been in. But jumping forward to the forwards, you've got Aubameyang, who's been obviously electric this season. He's finished 1 goal behind Vardy for the Premier League Golden Boot. He scored 2 on the final day against Watford. Scored 2 in the Cup against City in his first FA Cup appearance of the season, which, again, brilliant. He scored 6 braces this season as well. So when he does score, he's in form, because he does score more than 1 on occasion. But he's still yet to have a domestic hat-trick. He's only scored a hat-trick against Valencia last season in Europe. But of course, that doesn't mean huge amounts. It's just one of those things that he hasn't managed to do yet for Arsenal, which is an inevitable thing as long as he stays next season, of course. Chelsea this season against Arsenal have done quite well though. They've beat them 2-1 at Arsenal, and then drew 2-2 in the home game in the Premier League. Jorginho managed to score twice in both those games as well. He scored half of his Premier League goals this season against Arsenal. I don't know if that's the thing that he likes. Maybe he likes playing against Arsenal, or maybe, who knows, he just hates Arsenal. But he scored 2 this season against them, and there's a good chance that Chelsea are going to score a few today, because Arsenal's defence has been pretty lacklustre, with the exception of Martinez, who's been simply just superb since he's come in. There wasn't a serious amount of expectation around him when he had to fill in for Leno, but I think he's proved everyone very wrong in that, and he's going to have a job on his hands keeping Leno out of the team, and Leno's going to have a job on his hands trying to get back in the team. But talking to goalkeepers, Kepa for Chelsea was dropped against Wolves on the final day, which was a very important game for Chelsea, because if Chelsea lost, more than likely would have fallen up the top 4. But Leicester lost anyway, so they wouldn't have got back into the top 4. But they had to win, and they wouldn't have known the Leicester result. So Kepa was dropped and Caballero started, and Kepa has, I'm sure people have seen the stats in the media at the moment. He's got the worst save percentage in the history of the Premier League for a goalkeeper, which is simply unbelievable. It's impossible to try and comprehend that at all. But it only gets compiled when Kepa has conceded 8% of Chelsea's Premier League goals in their history. So in the last 28 seasons, Kepa's been the goalkeeper for 2 of those seasons, and he's conceded 8% of the goals that Chelsea have conceded. It's just not acceptable at all for a goalkeeper, especially of a goalkeeper that is the most expensive goalkeeper in history as well. And of course, Lampard, there's been rumours that he's looking at ter Stegen from Barcelona possibly to take the spot. But it's bizarre. It's bizarre that a keeper that performed quite well under Sarri is suddenly just falling from grace, and he's not really having a good time at all in the Prem at the moment. But Giroud, going back to the forwards again, has scored 6 and 7. He's been very, very good, surprisingly. Abraham hasn't been put back in the team to start for a few weeks. Since the lockdowns resumed, he's barely started a game. I believe he's maybe started 1 or 2. But Giroud, again, he's just proven why he's in the team. He's 33 years old and he's still performing. And he's, of course, going to want to score against his former team. So it looks almost written in the stars that Giroud's going to score tonight. I'd probably put that as a bet for the evening. And I would pair that with David Luiz to be carded, because David Luiz, of course, played for Chelsea as well. In the last 4 head-to-heads between the two sides, he's been carded 3 of those times. One was a red card in one of the Premier League meetings this season. One was a yellow card in the other Premier League meeting, and the other one was a yellow card when he was playing for Chelsea 3 games ago. So he likes these London derbies apparently, and I reckon he's probably a shoe-in for a card as well, especially with Giroud's presence as well. He's more than likely to get wound up or be turned too quick or something along those lines, because David Luiz does get caught out quite a lot. And in the home fixture this season, Arsenal game, the home fixture at the Arsenal Stadium this season, there was 9 yellow cards as well. So again, it's a very feisty affair between the two sides normally, and it's to be expected. You'd expect a few yellow cards for sure. Arsenal are going to be without Mustafi as well, which is pretty big, but Chelsea haven't really got any injuries to note. But in regards to the game, very difficult to say. I'm a Chelsea fan, so I try to stay unbiased as much as I can, but I do think Chelsea will win today. It won't be a very easy game at all, especially with Martinez in goal. I can't stop singing his praises enough, and Aubameyang up front is always just an absolute threat, and Chelsea have notoriously struggled against pace in recent years. But I do think with Lampard as manager, the way that he managed to control the game against Wolves, I think you're going to be seeing the same kind of thing. But then again, Arteta controlled the game very well against City. So it's a very difficult one to call. But I think if you're looking at a result, I'd probably say 2-1 Chelsea if I had to swing it one way. But in regards to a bet, I think I'm going to be sticking with the one thing that I've just mentioned, which is the Giroud goal and a David Luiz card. That is generally available at around 15-2, or if you like to use decimals, 9.5. It's a very decent price considering the two players have been prominent for goals and bookings in recent weeks and recent fixtures. So enjoy the game. I'm going to enjoy it myself. I'm going to enjoy it in this nice weather as well. So if you've got pubs open near you, go enjoy yourself, have a drink, enjoy the football, and I'll see you soon.